Welcome into the Brightmore Healthcare Studios. My good friend, my buddy, who leads the Eden Project and all of the volunteers that are a part of it. And for those, Bryn, that maybe are new to Bear Country and listening to the Bear for the first time and they're wondering, Warrior Wednesday sounds cool, sounds exciting.
Yeah.
What exactly is Warrior Wednesday?
So we love Warrior Wednesday. We love coming in here because we get to talk about the Eden Project and the veterans that we serve and the volunteers who make all this happen. But you know, in one sentence, we're an organization that serves veterans and their families in the Fayette County, but in Bear Country. So we serve veterans in whatever they need.
And some of those needs are when veterans return, or men and women that serving the country return to the States after being on a tour.
Yep.
And some of the questions and challenges that they face every single day include what?
So the two biggest things that we've heard over the past 8 years, the veterans tend to lose their identity. Once they come out of uniform, it's like, who am I now?
Right.
So that's one of the biggest challenges that we help with. They're looking for a new purpose. While we're in uniform, we know what our purpose is. We're defending our country or protecting whatever it is that the mission is at the time. But they lose their purpose. We're here to serve, to help them find their identity and to find their purpose.
You teach 12 wellness practices in your peer groups. You do journaling.
We do.
Which is super powerful.
Those are huge. Journaling is probably the number one wellness practice that we teach, and we do that every single week. But we have 11 other ones, so a total of 12 wellness practices that we teach in our peer groups.
Now, I would be interested in 11 of them, 11 of the 12. The one here that lists exercise. I'm out, but I'm sure it works. I'm sure it's a fantastic method.
It's a good one.
But the exercise thing, Donna, makes me a little nervous. One of your new tools to serve the community is a new podcast we're going to talk about coming up.
Super excited about that, yeah.
Podcasting is it's hot, has been since the pandemic. Everybody seems to launch a podcast during the pandemic.
Yep.
And listen, podcasts that stick are the ones that are the best. I read somewhere that on average, the average podcast goes 3 episodes and then they quit.
Really?
3 is it, because it's work. People don't realize the amount of work. On Donna, we do a podcast twice a week, Cadillac Jack My Second Act. 500 episodes coming up next week.
Congratulations.
I've been consistent, I think, considering podcasting, but for a while. But it's work, man. But
wow.
You guys are going to do great. It's a great opportunity to get your news out there and to control the narrative and tell people exactly what to do for these veterans. And Donna and I, as your friends and partners here at the radio station, and friends outside of the radio station, of course, but can tell you that the Eden Group does amazing things for veterans as they return after serving our country. And this podcast is going to, I think, go into greater detail and more of a conversation about what you guys do.
Exactly, yep.
We'll talk about it coming up. The Bear 92.5 Warrior Wednesday. Bryn Briggs with the Eden Project. That is the Eden Project online, eden-project.com. eden-project.com, eden-project.com. Or you can call. I'll give you the number 2 times. I know you're driving. Don't text and drive or do anything driving. But the number that you can call anytime, 678-632-5383. 678-632-5383. Coming soon to a podcasting platform near you. It is a podcast all about the Eden Group. Congratulations, man. This is a big undertaking.
We've been working on this for about 6 months now. A lot of work going behind it. And it's funny that you said 3 episodes is the average.
Before people throw in the towel.
We already have 6 months worth of shows planned.
There you go.
And written up and ready to go. So we're pretty excited that, possibly we're ahead of that, the average already.
Clearly you are if you're 6 months out. Because people don't understand, I don't think that, they don't understand the amount of work that goes into it. You don't just turn on microphones, kind of like radio.
Right.
It's a different medium. And when we go sometimes from radio directly into the studio to record a podcast, your mind has to shift gears because radio is bite-sized nuggets, pieces of information. You run 3 minutes, 4 minutes max. Podcasting is long-form conversations. You can take your time.
Yep.
You can breathe. You can go into detail. There's no rules. There's no policies. There's no government regulation right now. It's kind of like the Wild Wild West. I think that'll change soon.
Yep.
But you're having fun with it as well, and that's the most important thing.
And that's what I love about this. So when I didn't realize how much work it was going to be.
Yeah.
We thought it was going to be like this, just, conversation, 15, 20 minutes later. But it requires a lot of work up front. And then while you're in it, you've got to be in it because it's recording. And we've got audio and video. So it's just been a lot of work, and thank God I'm working with the genius Michael Stewart.
Michael Stewart.
Yeah, don't tell him I think he's a genius.
Right.
Because,
We'll edit that out.
That'll go to his head.
We'll edit that out. He's a good guy.
But the work that he's done for this is really making this really come to life.
The thing about podcasting too, and then we'll focus on the Eden Project podcast and what people can expect from it. But the thing about podcasting is they never go away. Radio's gone. Radio's live.
Great point.
Terrestrial radio, you hear it, it's gone. Podcasting lives forever somewhere. And you can go back, you can hit pause, you can come back when it's convenient to do, to listen again. You can schedule your listening, or you can just listen on a whim, and there's so many of them to discover.
And that kind of can be scary when you say it that way, because if you screw it up or say something that maybe...
Permanent record.
Exactly. It's going to be out there.
Can come back to haunt you. So be careful.
Right,
be careful.
right.
You can't edit as easily as you can in some other platforms. So specifically to the Eden Project and the podcast, it's going to launch when? Do we have any idea?
Well, we know the plan is next week.
Okay, fantastic.
The first one is going to be out. We've got it recorded.
S1E1, Season 1, Episode 1.
That's exactly
S1E1.
right. Yep.
Fantastic. And the purpose of the podcast is simply what?
Honestly, so we know that there's a need, there's a big void out there in serving veterans in the mental health space. That's what we've done for the last 8 years. So we're going to take the 8 years of experience, we're going to take our peer program and what we've done for couples and put it into a podcast form. So the niche, if you will, is veterans and mental health.
And people, though, that are not a veteran can also learn from this podcast.
Exactly. So about half of our volunteers are not veterans, and they're all looking at our peer program saying, we want some of that. So we're able to, if we change a couple of the words from veteran to warrior or to just regular person, our programs fit everybody. And the messages that we put out there really resonate with all groups and walks of people.
The goal is to engage, empower, and encourage all listeners to be resilient in their post-military life or life in general.
Exactly.
Well said. So give us a heads up next week when it hits.
You bet.
Available on all podcasting platforms.
That's the goal, yeah.
For free.
No charge.
That's the important part.
That's exactly
There's
right.
no paywall. Now listen, with our podcast, Cadillac Jack My Second Night, we thought about it a time or two, putting up a paywall, but listen, if you don't pay for radio, why would you pay for? That's my thinking. Is if you're not going to pay for radio, and I'm not asking you to do that for 28 years,
Yeah.
why would I ask you to pay for content on a podcast?
We want to help people,
Exactly.
and this is the best way we can think of to reach a bigger audience.
Fantastic. The Eden Project. The web address is eden-project.com. EDEN-project.com, or call 678-632-5383. 678-632-5383 on behalf of Donna, who's in Studio B this morning. Thank you for your service. 2 tours
Thanks a lot. Yep.
for Bryn. One from the U.S. Marine Corps, one for the U.S. Army. More of a man than I am.